Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's episode where I have Peter, who has 3D printed a case for his ZV-1 to turn it into a FX60. So, welcome, Peter, and yeah, we can see that you have the FX60 behind you, and we'd love to know a little bit more about what made you decide to do that for your cinema camera.
Okay, hello everyone. Thing is that I started to shoot weddings. I needed a secondary camera for my A7 III, which will complement it. And I didn't want to break the bank, so I decided to go with the ZV-1 because it's a small camera, but it is pretty capable, I think. So it can shoot 4K at 25 frames per second or 1080p at 120 or 100 frames per second. So that's why I decided to go with the ZV-1. Also, I don't need to buy a lens because it has an inbuilt one, which is pretty good. And it's about 2470 equivalent, so also versatile enough for weddings. And it has two problems: it overheats, and the battery doesn't last too long. So that's made me start this project to find some solution to these two problems, and that's why the FX60 has born.
Okay, that's great. So, did you like make this 3D design yourself, or did you get it off the internet?
Yeah, I've designed it myself. Actually, I will show. This is the first
Ooh, prototypes.
model. I knew that it will not be good, so that's why I chose filament I don't like, and yeah, you can see it doesn't look so good. Print quality, it's a wet filament, old one.
Yeah,
I don't know if you see it.
yeah, yeah.
But it was good enough for me. Also, I wanted to make a good handle, so it was just glued there with a hot glue gun. It works, so if something works, then it's not silly.
Yeah.
But so I made it, and then when I wanted to perfect it a little bit, just to make it better and a bit better looking, because I didn't want it to show up with that red thing in the wedding.
You don't want a red wedding. No, I can I
Yeah,
can
no,
kind of understand that.
it doesn't look good in red, but now in black I think it's better, and it is still a work in progress, so I
That's
have
great.
some other plans with it. It's
So,
not
what are
perfect.
the yeah? So, what are the capabilities that it gives you with the ZV-1 that the ZV-1 doesn't have? I know you did mention battery. So, how are you handling
Yeah,
that?
it has a built-in 20,000 milliamp hour power bank,
Okay.
so which means that I can shoot the whole wedding without changing battery and without worrying about it. And also it has a Noctua fan. It's a 2560. Yeah, it's a 2565 volt Noctua fan built in, which helps the camera to not overheat.
Yeah, that is great.
These are the two things which, and also it's a really big benefit that it's pretty beefy.
Hmm.
Like maybe it doesn't look like, but it is like I used maybe 1 kilogram of filament,
Okay.
about 1 kilogram for this whole thing, and also the power bank weighs maybe 300 grams, and the added weight and also pretty good grip, so you can hold it like this. It's pretty good for handheld shots.
Oh, that's
If you
great.
pair it with the ZV-1's digital image stabilization, it's really good. Like you don't need a gimbal for this thing if you do handheld.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. So yeah, so the nice I like the fact that it has the extra handle on there, and
Mhm.
the battery bank is nice. Is that like a USB C battery bank, or is it like a battery bank that you've actually like made yourself
It
out
is
of
a
like?
USB-C battery bank, but
Okay,
the original idea was that I will use dummy batteries. That's why you can see here that little hole
okay,
and this routing for the cable.
okay.
So And also that's the reason why I've bought this little cage thing or hand grip to make it possible to because ZV-1 has a bad issue that if you mount it to something with a quarter-inch thread, then you have no access to the battery door anymore.
Okay.
That's why this adapter or hand grip, or I don't know how to call this for now.
Okay.
And yeah, so originally the idea was to use more elegant solution, so use a dummy battery. But my issue with that was that the power bank was giving enough power. In paper, it was strong enough, but it wasn't stable enough. So there were times when the mm camera just shut down or just stopped working with the opened lens
Hmm.
uh, because of the not stable enough power. So
Okay.
in the end, I'm using micro USB to the side of the ZV-1, which supplies power. I mean, the power bank supplies power via this micro USB, not dummy battery.
Okay. Sounds good. So I guess another question here is I'm noticing that you also have a whole like handle and audio setup.
Mhm.
Is that actually like plugged right into the camera, or is there something else that you're doing with that to make it work?
Now it is just not plugged in, but that yeah, it's supposed to be plugged in to the camera.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, you can plug. I can plug it in, but it is normally just a mic, just to have a better sound. I
Mhm.
don't trust in built-in mics of the cameras. So
Okay. So I guess the next question is like you've been using this to shoot for weddings and stuff. Has anyone like come up to you and said, "Hey, that's just a small camera made to look like a big camera," or does most people just sort of see it as it's just another camera and they don't really pay that much attention to it?
actually, they are curious what it is. So more or less, the photographers or someone who knows how a camera should look like, and this is nothing like anything that. So they usually ask, "What is that boxy thing?" or retro camera. People call it sometimes. So yeah, my goal was to make it look a bit like a Venice 2 or the FX6 or something similar.
Hmm.
But the thing with the ZV-1 is that it has just a small lens, so it looks pretty funny if you turn it on. Yeah, you can imagine if there would be some bigger prime lens or even if a Tamron 2875, it would
Yeah.
look better. But yeah,
Just get a matte box.
yeah,
Put a matte box
I
on the
was
front.
thinking about it. Also, I can print one to look like a lens, but I don't want to fake it so much. I tried to make it as so don't use too much fake design elements, but what it has, it is necessary to have.
So do you have anything that you're planning on adding to it next, or is
Yeah,
this like I know you said it's still kind of a work in progress?
it is still a work in progress because dummy batteries that doesn't work. I'm planning to get rid of this plate because without that dummy battery, it's not necessary. And I want to make a 3D printable plate, which you can really easily just screw it in and click the camera in the body. So if you need it, you just click it in. You can use it. If you don't need it in 3-4 seconds, you can take out, unscrew the bottom plate, and you can use it as a compact thing as it's supposed to be.
Okay, that sounds good. Now I know you did this with the ZV-1. Is there any plans to do this for any other cameras in the future that you might be
Yeah,
thinking about?
definitely. Definitely. Other work in progress is the ZV-E1 because
Okay.
this is a camera which is a really capable one, but it overheats. So I think this could help the ZV-E1. So that's a work in progress, but no, I want to finish this first and then go to the ZV-E1.
I guess another question is in terms of like if somebody's watching this and they're like, "Wow, I'd really like to have that for my ZV-1." Is this something that you might be willing to share or sell to somebody in the future? Or like the 3D printing
Yeah.
files?
Yes, I am thinking about. uh, yeah, it would be ideal to produce it and sell it. Like for me, it would be the most beneficial. But I think in the end, I will sell the STL files for some symbolic amount of money because, yeah, I have family. I don't have so much time to print and source everything and assembly. But yeah, I will put it to some maybe my mini factory or somewhere once it's finished.
Okay. So, when you're talking about like that you 3D printed it, like what 3D printer did you use?
It's heavily modified and they're free. Yeah,
Heavily modified Ender 3. Is
yeah.
there an Ender 3 that isn't heavily modified?
I don't think so. It's like a BMW E36. Like you don't find a stock one in the
Yeah.
market.
All right.
I mean,
Was there anything else other than the 3D printing that you need to put together, like screws, stuff like that, or is it just sort of like in terms of like a build of material list?
you mean for the camera or for the 3D printer?
In terms of putting that together, there's the parts that you 3D printed, there's the camera component parts that you put into it. Was there anything else that you needed to buy to make it?
Yeah, the knob to a fan, the power
Okay.
bank, some cables, quarter-inch threads, like not the threads but the screws.
Okay.
What else? Microphone,
Yeah.
camera. Yeah, I've tried to use the most things I can make and to buy not so many things. For example,
Yeah.
also the tripod mount is 3D printed, so it doesn't look maybe so professional. I have this kind of tripod. I don't know how this mount is called, but yeah, I printed
It
it.
looks
It
like an
works
Arc Swiss. Yeah.
maybe.
There's Manfrotto, there's Arc Swiss, there's
Mhm.
the bigger one like this one, which is quite large, and then there's like a very small one from some of
Mhm.
the other companies that produce that stuff, which is sort of
A
different
flare.
name, but it's Arc Swiss compatible sometimes. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
I'm not so familiar. But I'm planning to buy some better tripod. But for this camera, it's pretty good. And with the A7 III, I usually go with handheld and gimbal. So for that, I don't need it too much. And this is perfect for ceremony to set it up somewhere.
is it waterproof or is it no?
No,
Okay,
no, I don't think so.
all right, you haven't tested it yet.
Mhm.
Okay,
I haven't.
I guess the next question I have here is you talked about how it's like
Mhm.
good for handheld and stuff. Who do you think should consider getting one of these? Like just wedding photographer?
Of course, if you have money for the FX6, go for that. That's better. But if you want, maybe if you want to invest a small amount of money to have a capable camera, then it's fine. So yeah, it's a budget friendly cinema camera option.
Hmm.
And also I find it yeah, ZV-1 is a vlogging camera. Like its purpose is a vlogging camera. I'm not vlogging, but I find it pretty good also at low
Hmm.
light, like surprisingly good. Of course, not as good as my A7 III, but it's not bad. It's fine. It's really usable. And also the button placement, it's fine. So it doesn't have so much custom buttons as the A7S III, A7 III, or FX3. But if you set it up smartly, then you can use it in manual mode. Or yeah, of course, no manual focus, but I don't bother with that because I trust more autofocus than my hand in
Yeah.
weddings.
Alright. How much did it cost you to put that all together? Like, I know you built the prototype, and I know a kilogram of filament costs about, I'm gonna say $25 to $30 depending on, what you're getting, and
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's PLA?
no, it's
Or you did
a
go for
PTG
PETG?
from
Alright.
Prussia, so
So
it's
it's closer to
yeah,
$30
it's
for the
about
kilogram.
yeah, yeah, like the printed parts is like about $30, and of course the camera, mic. Okay, I will not count the microphone, but if you want only the case, the battery, and the fan, and maybe this plate, It was about 100
Okay.
euro, 90 euro,
Mm.
something like that.
Okay. Have you thought
So
about upgrading it to something like V-mount batteries in the future? I know those are popular and they do come with the DTAP and USB.
yeah, but not for the
Not for the
ZV one.
ZV-1?
For this $30 power bank
Okay,
is more than enough.
fair enough.
But for the A7 III, if I would, yeah, I'm honestly thinking about also making something similar to my A7 III, but there is a problem that it doesn't have that flip out
Mhm.
screen, and that's really good because
Yeah,
here I can just put it there. It's not or just open it up. I can, and also if I hold it, then with manual focus, it's really on hand. So not manual but spot
yeah.
focus. But with the A7 free, oops, I don't want to
Don't
break
break
it.
it. Be like, cut right there, it's like, "So, here's the man who used to own."
Yeah, but the A7 free has that not flip out screen, but so only you can pull it a bit out to the back, and that's not ideal for this kind of use if you don't want to use some external
Mhm.
monitor.
Awesome.
But
Alright.
Vman battery sounds good, but it would be more expensive than the whole thing, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, it might be more expensive than the whole thing because it is very nice and very
Mhm.
compact, so,
Yeah, maybe I can.
blah, blah, blah. Is there anything you
Of
wanna
course,
say about it that
I try to
like
design it to be printable with to make it printable without supports. I don't like support material.
okay,
Like, of course, it can be fine, and
okay.
sometimes it's necessary. But this whole thing is printable without support. So mm,
How many pieces is it before you put it together?
uh, one big piece, top handle, the tripod mount, and like this small plate, which is not necessary, is just design element. And this houses the battery, this other door. So one, two, three,
Mhm.
4, 5 pieces. Uh, no,
Alright, so and
6 pieces because inside I had also an issue because I wanted to make it so if I put in the power bank, I didn't want it to rattle or make some noises. So I designed some clamp that there is
mhm,
these two little holes. So if I unscrew the holes,
okay,
not the screws which are inside, then it clamps the power bank so it doesn't move. I will send you
okay.
some pictures, some renders, if you would like. So
We will take anything you send
yeah.
and be like, paste it all over the thing. So here's some photos and renders for those who want to know what it sort of looks like.
Yeah.
And I think that people will appreciate that. And I
Mhm.
guess the last question I have here is how do people contact you or like to shoot weddings or to, say, hey, can I get a copy of this wonderful 3D printing thing sometime in the future?
Mhm. For now, I think via mail. So I think I can send you my mail address, and if you think it's fine, then you can put it to the description of the YouTube video.
We will have a link.
I don't have a web page for this
No,
for now because it
I
was
know,
just
I know. I just
I don't
I
I don't want to build a business on this. I was really honestly surprised that how much people liked it on Facebook when I shared a few really bad quality pictures about it.
I saw it and I was like, "Oh
So I
wow,
just
that looks cool." Like, cause I know I looked
yeah,
way back in the
thanks.
day at the ZV-1, and my thing was I was looking at it
Mhm,
from a vlogging standpoint, but I was looking at it like as you said before, I'm like, the battery life wasn't that great on it. It did overheat,
mhm,
if you wanted to use it for longer than, like, a vlog where you're walking and talking. So I
mhm.
ended up going with a different camera, which I will not mention because it's not Sony, but,
Okay, you can.
but I ended up getting a GoPro, and then I moved to another
Mhm,
GoPro, and then eventually I moved to, um, using the GH6 for vlogging, which
Okay.
is a terrible
Mhm.
thing to do, and I had my iPhone in there a couple times. No, sorry. Yeah, I'm wrong. I ended up using the Nikon A1000. Sorry. I used the,
Mhm.
Nikon A1000, and then I had a GoPro for when I was doing, like, really crazy action stuff, and then I had this camera here set up on a tripod and stuff, and there's a
Mhm.
period of trip when I went across, Ireland where I ran around with a ZV-6 and a monopod, video monopod, and I had the Nikon ZV-6 standing on a monopod
Mhm.
at the, whatever that name famous castle is that people kiss a rock. I have a photo of it, I can post it
Mhm.
here. Don't do this. Okay, kids, don't do this. This is like
Mhm.
$4,000
It's
standing on
not
the top of
ideal.
a video monopod all by itself in a
Mhm.
cold rickety castle.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I mean, that tripod that you have on the background looks much
Yeah,
sturdier.
no, this tripod is much sturdier than the video monopod, which is great. It works great, but it's great for when I
Mhm.
want to film people. It's not so great when I stand it up and then hit record, walk ahead front of it, and say, "I'm now going to talk to this thing," and hope nobody comes in the room and says, "What's
Mhm.
this?" Oh,
Yeah, I got it.
oh. All right. Well, it's been great talking to you today, Peter. Thank you for sharing
Mhm.
this neat innovation in 3D printing and filmmaking. Uh, I, as said, when I saw it initially, I was like, "Wow, this is actually a really cool idea," and I can definitely see this being used as a method to sort of extend the life of like some of the small cameras.
Mhm.
Because yeah, battery life I think is the main thing for a lot of these small cameras. They're great, but they only
Mhm.
last like
Yeah.
40 minutes. It'd be great if they lasted longer. So,
I like it. I think really it solves all the problems that the Z2 have. Like we could ask for 10-bit color, but even the A7 III doesn't have that, and it produces, in my opinion, pretty good pictures, like good enough for me. And the couples from the weddings didn't complain for the image quality. So yeah, also this should, I think it's fine. So if you mix it a little bit on the video, then it's not even so recognizable.
all right, sounds good. All right. Well, thank you very much. And for everyone who watched this, there'll be a link in the description on how to contact Peter if you do want to see about getting one of these for yourself. Once he figures out the upgrades that he wants to place in there, and who knows, there might be more people walking around with an FX60 in the next year.
Okay. Really appreciate the chance to be here. So thanks for that.
Thank you very much, and have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Now don't go anywhere.
No, I'm not going.
It's like we're done, but don't just run off.
I know it's for YouTube, so it's fine.
Oh, I know. YouTube is like and subscribe. By the way, have you subscribed and liked yet? I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god.